Right, my lovelies. Lilies, lads, lords, dudes, sugar lilies, sugar mountains on the moon, mountain lilies on the moon. I don't know, all kinds of lilies hanging out in the moon here. And dudes, don't forget the dudes. Okay, jumping right back in, guys. We are doing number 12 to start. Number 12, and we will keep going. Let's go. All right, this is a quick one. This is number 12. Gunderson, 1114. So he is checking out the dumpsters. Excuse me. He is checking out the dumpsters. Responded to the area of Queen Road. Photographed and looked in the 3 dumpsters in the area outside of the King Road, 1122 King Road, and King Road. All 3 dumpsters were located in the street. I saw nothing of evidentiary value in the dumpsters. I photographed them and cleared the area. Idaho State Police later pulled the trash pursuant to this investigation. Some blood was located on the 2nd floor at Taylor Avenue. Taylor Avenue is commonly referred to the Whites. Okay, there's when we get the Whites. Okay, so this particular apartment on Taylor Avenue, they call the Whites. I guess because of, well, stuff going on there, right? You think about that. Never mind. So that's the Whites on Taylor Avenue apartment, 2nd floor, and is a known party location. Of course, that's why it has a nickname. Okay. Yeah. The blood was isolated to one area with no trail to either area. I photographed the blood and notified on-scene investigators. Did they sample that? Who knows? Officer House and I walked various areas around the crime scene looking for evidence. Officer House and I found nothing of evidentiary value. Oh, like a glove? Oh, like anything else? No. We didn't find nothing. But we did find blood in the Whites. They photographed it, right? And informed. Right. And notified on-scene investigators. Okay, so I don't know. Did they take a sample of that? Who knows? Just saying they found blood there. Okay, at the Whites. Yep. Gunderson. Let's see. Blah. And that's it. Gunderson. Okay. No review. Right? Is there a review? Oh, okay. I'm sorry. So that was put in November 21st, reviewed November 21st. Okay. There you go. It's number 12. So we find there's blood at the Whites. Yes, there are. Or yes, there is. All right. Number 12. Let's keep going. Righty. And now we get to number lucky 13 here, guys. Lucky 13. Now keep in mind what Jack Showalter told. He calls up the police 2 times. Okay. Calls up the police 2 times the very next day, late in the evening, while he's already gone and in Boise, Idaho. So Jack's in Boise, remember? And what else did Jack say? He doesn't know who the other girl was with Maddie that he was walking with. Who he's referring to, Kaylee. Okay, keep that in mind. So let's jump into number 13. I think you like this one, at least from the first 2 lines that I saw. Okay, let's check this shit out. All right, guys, here we go. All right, so this is Detective Lanier. All right. Corner Club. Video. All right. So, November 15th, 2 days after the unalivings, 9:30 in the morning, myself and Mallory responded to the Corner Club to contact the owner. This was a prearranged meeting to view video from the evening of November 12th to the early morning hours of the 13th, of course, the crucial night. The purpose was to confirm that Maddie and Kaylee were indeed at the corner club and had been reported, and to try and identify individuals seen on the grub truck video later in the morning. Specifically, a male who appeared to be accompanying them, Jack Showalter. Okay, right. Upon arrival, the owner already had the video up on the screen and quayed to the proper time frame. Oh, okay. Mallory began scrolling through the video, which consisted of multiple views and multiple screens that are all in time sync. We determined that Kaylee and Maddie arrived at the corner club at 8:20 p.m. No, is that right? No, 10:20 p.m. Sorry, 10:20 p.m. in a Prius-type vehicle with one other unidentified female. The vehicle was determined to be, of course, we know who that's going to be, an Uber vehicle, and the driver identified. Well, I don't know, but anyway, they identified the driver. Anyway, Kaylee and Maddie mingle around the bar, but spend most of their time in the front along the bar room and speak to several people as they mingle. At 12:22 a.m., Kaylee paid her bar tab using her credit card, which consisted of 9 well vodka and 2 add juice. Right? And the owner provided a copy of the receipt. Okay. At approximately 1 a.m., Kaylee engages in a conversation with a subject identified by bar staff as Jack Showalter. Remember what he said, "I don't know who the other girl was." Now, he wasn't referring to that third girl. He was referring to Kaylee. Kaylee. That's who he's referring to, I believe. Yeah. Showalter was seen with Kaylee and, yes, Maddie in the grub truck video later in the evening. Correct. This appeared to be consensual conversation and appeared they knew each other. At approximately 1:14 a.m., Maddie joins in the conversation, and all three remain generally in the area of the bar near the wall. Nothing stood out during that time, and both appeared to know Showalter. At 1:31 a.m., Showalter paid his bar tab with his credit card, consisting of 5 can BT and 2 kamikazes. Okay, yeah. After paying, he walked to the back of the bar, went into the restroom, came back out, retrieved his coat, and came back to an area near the exit where Kaylee and Maddie were waiting for him. Showalter waited in the background while the girls finished conversing with others. Then they all exited the building at 1:37 a.m. The parking lot, they exit at 1:37 a.m. Mr. Showalter, when he's calling the police, right, he says they didn't leave until 2:30. Big difference, remember, almost an hour off there, Jack. You're an hour off, Jack. Jack shit. The parking lot camera shows them walking away together across, then out of the parking lot in a westerly direction. They were all dressed the same in the grub truck video, with Showalter wearing a white light-colored hoodie with a brown coat over it. Right, hoodie guy. While reviewing the video, we also recognized Jack Decor, who was reported to be Kaylee's ex-boyfriend. We did not track his movements in the video, but he appeared to spend most of his time at the opposite end of the business, seated seated with several other males. At one point, there appeared to be a brief interaction with Kaylee that looked cordial and in passing. Decor left at 1:51 a.m. with two other males. So, they leave 20 minutes after Kaylee and Maddie and Jack Showalter. So they hang around a little bit longer here with two other males. Okay. Also noticed in the video was a subject seen in the grub truck video. I recognized him because of his unique sweater and long hair and beard. Remember the guy, the weirdo beard guy? Later on was stealing signs and shit later on that night with a big knot in his head? Yeah, that guy. Yeah, he was also there. Okay, yeah. Which is odd. Yeah, when did he leave? He was identified as by bar staff. He checked out at 12. He checked out at midnight. Okay, that makes sense because he was at the grub truck before they showed up. That makes sense. Using a credit card in the name of his name, showing 2 microtub. I didn't notice any interaction between him, Kaylee, or Maddie. Okay. A third subject who was seen in the grub truck video was also observed in the corner club, but we were not able to identify him. Well, that's always good. He is of stocky build, white male with brown hair and facial hair, wearing a brownish sweater. I did not observe any interaction between him, Kaylee, or Maddie. Because the video file was extremely large, Maury was unable to copy it to an external storage device. We left the business, and Detective Maury is working on obtaining a usable copy of the video for a closer review. I have attached the bar receipts provided. Did they ever do that? I wonder if they ever did that. What if they ever got a usable copy for further review or closer review? All right, Lanier, 15th, reviewed by Barrett, 15th, fine. So, what does Jack say? Jack is conversing with both Kaylee and Maddie. It looks like they've known each other. It looks like they're friends. So now we have to go back a little bit, just a little bit, to document number 11. Here we go. Contrast. Here we go. Remember, document 11. This is him talking to the detective on the phone after he left him a voicemail. He calls him back. At this point, Jack Showalter's in Boise, Idaho. He fled his apartment that early morning, left all the blood in his apartment before fleeing to Boise to his parents' house. He calls the maintenance workers to come over to check a problem with his toilet, right? Remember, he leaves before the maintenance people get there. Remember, because he doesn't want anybody seeing him. That's my guess, and I think I'm accurate on that. He doesn't wait for the maintenance people to show up so he can talk to them about his issue. Does he? No. Why is that? Because, again, my guess is he's scratched up in some fashion where he doesn't want people seeing his face or his arms or whatever. So he leaves before they even show up to discuss the problem. That's right. That's a problem. And that's a reason why he did that. He didn't want anybody seeing what he looked like. That's why he did that. And that's also why he skipped that week of classes leading up into the break. He skipped that entire week for the very same reason. He didn't want people seeing his appearance. My guess is because he had scratches all over his fucking face and arms, and maybe cuts from the knife that he was using. Just my guess here, guys. But it makes sense and it fits. So what does he say here? He says, here's what he says. Showalter essentially said the same thing he said in the voicemail he left. Showalter said he was out with Maddie, only Maddie, at the corner club until 2:30. That's wrong. We know that's a lie. He's off by an hour here. 53 minutes he's off by here, guys. 53 minutes. Big difference for this character. That's a big difference for this character. Yes, it is. Showalter said several times he did not know who the other girl was. Now, there were 3 girls, but he's talking about Kaylee here. Several times, I do not know who the other girl was that was with them that night. See? Showalter described the girls, Kaylee and Maddie, not the third one, Kaylee and Maddie, getting into a silver sedan after they got food at the grub truck. Right? I confirmed Showalter's name, date of birth, address, so on and so on. He told me, Showalter, he said he drove to his parents' house in Boise. Yep. I asked how long he planned to be at his folks' house, and he said he was skipping the next week of classes and would remain in Boise until after Thanksgiving break and until his wounds healed up so nobody can see him. Showalter said he was willing to talk to a detective about his involvement with this case. But when, though? When is the question here, guys? When is he going to talk to them? Again, at this point, what Moscow should be doing, they should be arranging for a cruiser to go up there immediately to his parents' house in Boise to see what he looks like, for one. Because your wounds aren't going to be healed here. So, did they go up to Boise as soon as possible to eyeball him? What does he look like? Show me your hands. Show me your face. Are there cuts and scrapes and scratches on it? Do you have cuts on your hands from the knife? This is what should have happened here. Okay? Do we know that? No, I don't. In fact, my guess is they waited, and I don't know this for sure. This is just a guess. They waited a while to actually maybe lay eyes on him. That's my guess. Could be totally wrong, but the way this case was investigated, guys, we know anything and everything is on the table here. Because it's such a screwed up, effed up fucking investigate. One of the worst investigated cases I have ever read. Okay? Yeah, definitely. And you guys too, probably. Hell yeah. So again, Hathaway, Gunderson reviewed. So that's what Jack said, remember? Now compare that to the video that they were looking at, right? They leave at 1:30. Excuse me. Okay, 1:37-ish. Big difference there. And he also lies about talking or knowing Kaylee. It says they looked like they all knew each other pretty well or whatever. He certainly was talking to her in the club. Lies and lies and more lies. Jack Showalter, 4 of a perfect pair. It's coming together pretty nicely. Let's carry on. So that was document number 13, and we have to revisit number 11 to contrast the lies. Okay, let's keep going. I hope you like that one. Let's keep going. Now we're on to 14, document 14, okay? 12, 13. Side trip to 11 again. Okay, this is all Jack stuff. This is all Jack stuff here. Lies. So this is all Jack stuff here. Okay, and now we're on to 14. All right, let's carry on, my loves and lads and lows and lilies. Let's keep going, babies. Let's go. One more thing about that, about Showalter, okay? The reason why, and this is my opinion only, again, the reason why I feel he's the one that contacted the police first was because he knew at some point they were going to try to get a hold of him. They wouldn't identify him. He knew that. That's why he did this preemptively. That was preemptive on his part. Okay? He wasn't doing it out of the goodness of his heart here. This is my opinion. This was preemptive because he knew they were eventually going to get a hold of him, and he wanted it to be under his term here. That's why he did that. Okay? And he waited until he got to his parents' house in Boise to do this. So, he didn't contact them before he left to go, did he? No. There's a reason why he did that. Because if he would have contacted them before leaving for his parents' house, they would have wanted to speak to him probably that same day. Right? And he couldn't have that. He could not speak with him that same day. Why is that, guys? Tell me. Why wouldn't Jack Showalter want to call police and talk to them in Moscow the very next day? Because he's probably all scratched to fucking hell. He probably has wounds on him. That's right. That's why. So he purposely waited. He left early to go up to his parents' house, then waited until later in the evening to contact police. That's all on purpose. That was done on purpose. By design. By this prick. Okay? That fits. There's no other reason. He could have waited to go up to his parents' house after speaking to police in Moscow, but he did not. And again, there's a reason for that, and that reason is he was scratched to fucking hell. I could, that's my opinion, but that fits. That fits. Definitely fits. That's why he did that. I have no doubt about that in my mind. Anyway, carry on. We're on to 14. Okay, I just want to say that. All right, let's keep going. Here we go. This is number 14. Vargas, 11:15. That's when he puts it in. This is evidence collected from the Idaho State Police, interviews with neighbors. So, the very next day on the 14th, I went to the King Roadhouse with Sergeant Blaker to observe the scene. I walked through the house and around the outside of the residence along with other investigators, looking for possible evidence. Couldn't find that other glove, though. No, remember, we didn't find that other glove with blood on it until, 11 days later? Okay? I don't know what they're doing or what they're looking at. But anyway, whatever. Yeah, just happened to miss that. Again. Okay. Idaho State Police investigators were on scene, walking through for a second time, looking for additional evidence. I walked around the south side of the house, up the hill, along the fence line for Walenta. Okay, I don't know. Okay. For Walenta. The backyard for, wait a minute. Looking for Walenta. The backyard for Walenta. What the fuck? Backyard for Walenta. Backs up to the backyard area of the King Road house. Right. I spoke with SG at Walenta and asked for his permission to look through his backyard. Not thought. Through. We're not going little house yet. Through his backyard area, which he said I could look through. G told me he was a person who previously called dispatch to provide information about what he observed. Well, I'd like to know what that was about. I told G, after looking over the area and through the residence on King Road. I told G, after looking over the area and through the residence on King Road. What? What did you tell him? Why did... Oh, my God. Comma. I would come back and get a statement from him. Or you could put a semicolon there as well. I would come back and get a statement from him. I did not locate anything of interest in the backyard or on the hillside behind the King Road house. Did you go into his house? Did you ask to see his house? I walked into the King Road house. Did they check this guy's house? It's great they looked in his yard, but did they look in his house? You're right there. Hey, do you mind if we go in your house and check your house out? I don't see that in here. Oh my God. And look through the house with other investigators into the King Road house. Yeah. The following 4 evidence items were collected by the Idaho State Police, Talbot, inside the house on the very next day, on the 14th, and turned over to me on scene. Idaho State Police took photos of these items in the places they were collected from. I booked the following items into evidence. A copy of the evidence property receipt relating to these items is attached electronically to the case file. Okay, this is what they got. Exhibit 57, a rolled up $2 bill located on the desk in F2 bedroom 1, northwest. Yep, that's what we're using to snort up Adderall. Number 58, blue powder, suspected Adderall, located on the desk of Xana. 59, blood sample west wall, living room. West wall, living room, blood sample. Doesn't belong to Koberger. Blood sample F3, bedroom 2, northwest wall. Okay. Yeah. Doesn't belong to Koberger. I spoke with the following people who live at that place at Woodlenta. My conversations with the SG, M, and TM were recorded and are attached electronically to the case file. They give names, date of births. SG told me the following. This is SG's account of what he heard, saw, whatever. Okay? Now this is the neighbor who lives right above them. Okay? Yeah. Right? He woke up a couple of times on Saturday night. He looked at the clock, saw it was 4:17 a.m. Interesting time. And said after about 5 minutes of waking up, he heard a dog barking outside from the direction of the King Road house. G said he was going in and out of sleep, and after an hour, around 5 a.m., he still heard the dog barking outside from the direction of the King Road house. G said his bedroom is on the far northeast side of Woodlenta and is closest to the backyard of the King Road house. So, yes, his bedroom is the closest to their house. Right. G said there is a motion light outside of his window and said if it turned on, he would have noticed it. Okay. G told me he has lived at this residence since January, so less than a year, and has not heard the dog barking outside before in the middle of the night. That's odd. So this is not normal, right? This is not normal for the dog to be outside barking in the middle of the night. He would know. He lives right there. So this is unusual. It's unusual for this to be happening, right? The dog being out there barking. Remember, who was out with the dog supposedly? Maddie, right? And Bethany. Remember all that weird shit with the dog? Hey, have you seen Murphy? Bethany says, no, I don't know where he is. Okay, I was just outside with him. Yeah, no. I went inside because I was cold. Yeah, Maddie was supposedly still out there with him. And then Maddie comes to Bethany about 20 minutes later asking where the dog is. Yeah, whatever, right? Ridiculous. I next spoke with M. M told me on the 13th he woke up around 2:30 Okay. And left the house around 3. Okay. M said he had an extended training day and it lasted about 12 hours. M said he finished his extended training day around 6 p.m. at Buffalo Wild Wings and arrived home around 6:30 p.m. M said he was with approximately 20 staff members and did not I have no idea. No. M said he was with approximately 20 members, frat members? I don't know. And did not notice anyone who should have been there was not there. Oh my God. This is so fucking dumb the way it's written. They don't know how to fucking write. We're jumping all over the place here. You know, soon we're at Buffalo Wild Wing. Now we're back in the area. Oh, God almighty. Whatever. M did not remember hearing anything in particular when he woke up or left around 2:30, 3 a.m. I don't buy that. Do not buy that at all. M did not hear the dog barking. Okay. M did not hear the dog barking. So, remember, the dog is outside. The dog is outside at 2:30. Yeah. So the dog is not around here, guys. The dog is not around here. The dog, now this is estimation. The dog is gone, is missing from 2:30 a.m. until approximately, let's just say 4:20 a.m. The dog's missing. Then the dog comes back sometime around 4:20-ish when he is heard barking again outside the house. And that barking, it continues to at least around 5 a.m. in the morning. Estimated. So there is approximate 2-hour gap of time where Murphy is not in the area. Murphy is not here. Somebody, in fact, either here's what I think happened here. Okay. Here's what I think happened. Now, some of you said that Dylan took him. Some of you think that Dylan took him away for a while. I don't think it was Dylan that took him away. Dylan was there the whole time. Dylan didn't go anywhere with the dog. Somebody else came and took that dog for that crucial period of time where this shit is going to happen. Okay? This was all a fucking ruse. This was all a ruse, guys. This was all a fucking ruse. Okay? All a ruse. Bethany's playing stupid. I don't know where the dog is. Yes, you do, Bethany. You know where the dog is. You know the dog is not around. That's my opinion. The Hobbit. The Hobbit playing stupid. Hobbit's playing stupid here. So the dog's missing for, over 2 hours. Nobody knows where it is. It's not barking outside. So somebody came and took that dog away on purpose during these crucial hours, right? For a reason, because the dog is an obstacle here. And we need to get the dog away so it's not going to try to attack us while we're doing our thing. Right? Right. Exactly. That fits. Yes. All right. Okay. He did not hear the dog barking at 2:30. Nope. I next spoke with TM. T told me he did not hear a dog barking at any point. T said he had been out at the bars an evening of the 12th into the 13th, and got home around 2:30. T said he sleeps with earplugs in. T said his sister M mentioned she saw Maddie at some point at the corner club. Fine. T provided me with his sister's phone number. Okay, fine. Vargas, the 20th, reviewed on the 20th. Fine. Okay, there you go. That's number 14, guys. That is the doggy. That is Murphy we're getting more information about. Yes, we are. We're nailing down what's going on with Murphy here. Yes, we are. So Murphy is not around between at least 2:30 a.m. to approximately 4:45 to 5 a.m. Murphy is missing. He is. He's not in the house, and he's not outside the residence barking his ass off. Okay? Or people would have heard it at 2:30. Okay? So somebody came and got that dog. Yes, they did. And they took that dog away. Now, who would that be? Who would that be? Somebody he probably knows. I'm just guessing here. But it was probably somebody that dog knew. I don't know. I don't know this dog. You know, I know those types of dogs are kind of friendly. But would this dog allow himself to be picked up and put in a car and driven away by a stranger? I highly doubt it. Well, let me clarify. Unless they lured him away with food, picked him up, threw him in the car, and drove off. That's another possibility. Okay. But anyway, the whole point is the dog is not here. And that's on purpose. That's on purpose. And guess what? Brian Kohlberger ain't going to be fucking taking a dog anywhere, guys. No, that's not Brian Kohlberger at all. So whoever this was knew exactly what was going to happen. This was on purpose. And it's not Brian Kohlberger taking the fucking dog to the dog park for a little while. No, it's not. That's number 14, guys. I'm going to leave it right there. So, 12, 13, 14. With a little revisit to number 11 in the documents. I love you all. Hey, the picture just gets better and better, doesn't it? Yes, it does. Okay, I'm going to be on here again. We'll keep going, guys. I love you. Love my garden. You guys are the best. I hope you're having a beautiful weekend with no BS, okay? I hope you have no BS this weekend and just can enjoy yourselves, all right? All right, love you all. Talk to you later, guys. All right, bye.